So what's his name? He won't complain no more. Get the thing going. Start on time. All right. We'll just get all this BS done a little bit early. We're going to talk about some stuff today. Yeah. NFC playoff picture. Look at that. Looking nice. All right. Do a couple last second invites here. Thank you to the ones that are joining us right now. As I get our little countdown video in there going. Ready? Boom. Take that music off. It's a beautiful thing. All right, not ready to get this thing started, please. You can hear the words that are coming out of my mouth. Share this broadcast right now. We're going to talk some football. You know somebody that likes football. Share it with them. Like this video. We gonna talk
playoffs.
We're gonna talk
playoffs.
Today we're gonna talk about
playoffs.
Woo! All right, here we go. Put what team you represent in the comments. It's Thursday football talk. Let's do it. Good morning, Fred. Fred is literally the only one in here so far. What's up, Fred? Good morning. It's great to be a Lion. Yeah, let's do it. It is Thursday. Let's get this thing going. Yeah, even a little bit early. I'm starting 2 minutes early today just because I heard somebody complain a couple days ago. I don't remember who that was. What's up, Clarence? In there. Welcome one, welcome all. It's football talk. Football talk with Russell Wayne. This is our 11 a.m. thing right here. Football talk with Russell Wayne each and every morning on the weekdays at 11 a.m. We are broadcasting live into the Detroit Lion News, which is the Detroit Lions News podcast. Thank you to Joe Chap and you guys doing that content creating thing. We all blue chippers right here doing that thing. We're also broadcasting live into Mike, the Bear fan, right there, coming off that big victory. They're running around the streets of Chicago naked, rubbing a whole bunch of that, whatever they eat in Chicago all over their body, feeling pretty good. And then the Detroit Lions Villain Squad. We want to thank you for putting us over 12,000 villains up in this mug, and we're loving life right here. We love to be able to come in here. When I say we, I mean me and my compadre. What's up, buddy?
Good morning, Russ. Got this damn song stuck in my head. It's crazy.
What song?
It's like Another One Bites the Dust, but it's the same rhythm. It's like doo-doo-doom, doom, doom. The Green Bay Packers suck. Doo-doo-doom, doom, doom. The Green Bay Packers suck. And the Vikings suck too, and so do the Bears, but the Green Bay Packers suck.
Hey,
We're going to roast you too. The Green Bay Packers suck. Bow, bow, bow,
Yeah.
bow.
I
Yeah,
like it.
buddy.
Man, that's got a good beat to it, man. I mean,
Oh.
right there. You know why? Because fuck your kneecaps. Yeah. And we're in the Detroit Rock City today. So what are we going to talk about today? That was the $1 million question. So we got two things that we want to really cover today. One of them being hold on a second. I might have see if I got to figure something out. Was that you or me?
There's a delay on your vocal. I can hear an echo. There's a delay on your vocal. I can hear an echo. Oh, there's a delay on mine too. I can hear like an echo in my headphone. There's a delay on mine too. I can hear like an echo.
That's weird. That's is that for them out there too? Is that for them?
I don't know. I can hear you live when you say it, and then I hear you repeat it. There's like an echo. I can hear you live when you say it, and then I hear you repeat it. There's like an echo.
All right. Well, take over for a second. I'm going to go out and come back in. We're going to try this thing.
All right. We're going to say, hey, welcome to the show, Clarence. Fred. Fred says, I'm seeing a lot of CJ coming back. Seen someone posted it in the Village Squad page, too. Y'all think we see him this week? I do not, Fred. I think the Lions' MO is to bring players back slowly. And if they say he's ready now, no way he plays Saturday, I don't think. I think the stretch run, the final 3 games, Minnesota, Dallas, Minnesota, 100% I believe we will see him in the Dallas game. Let's get hot going into the playoffs, folks. Dan Campbell said he doesn't expect to see James Houston back till the end of December, and GJ would be trending right about the same. So, no, I don't think we see him this week. But thanks a lot for the comment there. I'm pumped for this game. Let's get right and ride them Broncos right out of this game. Let's get right and ride them Broncos right out of this game. Let's get right and ride them Broncos right out of this game. Let's get.
It went back to it, didn't it?
Remix.
It went back to it, didn't it?
Remix. It's happening. I can hear my horrible takes over and over. Good morning, Tina. Good morning, Scotty Reno. All right, we got Paul Jones. Good morning, Paul. Single Dads Club. Brandon Perna's curse wheel landed on the Lions to be cursed. I don't know what that means. Single Dad, tell us what that means. Brandon Perna's curse wheel landed on the Lions to be cursed. If that's some other podcast, just forget it. Don't explain it. Anyway, thanks everyone for being in here today. I am Main Event Mike filling in for Russell Wayne. Today is Thursday. It's High Energy Good Vibes Thursday. We have a special guest coming in today. It's GT from And We Know Sports, just like every Thursday. And we're going to be talking about the NFC North today. A few games on the slate for the NFC North this week. Green Bay, after their crushing defeat to Tommy DeVito. Who? Tommy DeVito and the G-Men. On Monday Night Football, they have to go back to the Lambeau Field with their tail between their legs to face the division-leading Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Baker Mayfield. That ought to be a good one. Our good friend A-Dub, our Packer fan, resident Packer fan, said this was the game that he was worried about. Plain and simple, folks. Green Bay loses to Tampa. It's over for them. Chicago Bears got to travel to the Mistake by the Lake and play Joe Flacco, the Super Bowl MVP in 2012. Holy cow. So Cleveland Browns, Chicago Bears technically still in the playoff hunt. I think it's amazing. Minnesota coming off a 3-0 in extra innings to beat the Las Vegas Raiders. They travel to Cincinnati to face the red-hot Bengals and their backup quarterback from the University of Washington, Jake Browning. By the way, folks, Jake Browning last week, 354 yards. He's lighting it up. What looked like an easy win for Minnesota without Joe Burrow there just a couple weeks ago, now looking really tough to keep their playoffs hopes alive. They're going to have to pull off a win on the road again, even if it's 3-0. They're going to have to beat Cincinnati to stay alive because then, folks, they got Detroit twice and Green Bay once. So it's a tough row to hoe for the Minnesota Vikings. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about these playoffs today. Put it in the comments for us, folks. How do you see these playoffs shaking out, right? It's looking like right now the Lions would be the 3 seed. And that's not good. That means we'd have to play the 5 seed, which would be who? The Dallas Cowboys. Somebody that we played on week 17. If the playoffs were to start, we don't want to have to face Dallas 2 weeks after we just played them in Dallas. I don't care if it's in Ford Field or not. it is shaping up. There's been so much chatter all year long about, especially from these Packer and Bear fans, how this Lions team reminds them of the 2022 Minnesota Vikings. As much as I hate the narrative, it's hard to ignore. And if we go one and done in the playoffs and lose to a team we just beat 2 weeks before, that'll be the same MO as the Vikings last year losing to the Giants. So definitely interesting to see how these last 4 games play out. But by the way, I want to put this out there, and I really hope that y'all would put it in the comments what you think about it. And that is the 2023 season has been amazing for me. And I don't just mean because the Lions are having a winning record. I mean because the storylines, Aaron Rodgers in the first game going down in the first series, all of it. Patrick Mahomes having a bad year. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens rising to the top. Tua Tagovailoa not bleeding from the ears and able to stay upright and play. Tyreek Hill closing in on 2,000 yards. The Rams resurging. The dominance of the San Francisco 49ers. The Eagles going out to an 11-0 record or 10-0 record. It's just been an incredible year. The NFL has built one hell of a product, and 2023 has not disappointed. Let me know what you think. Are you back now, Russ?
I think so. I rebooted my computer, so we might have had some Bluetooth issues right there. It seems to have fixed it. I don't hear any delays anymore.
No, I think you got it.
Do you hear any delays?
No, I think you got it.
All right, there we go. So, I mean, and I was listening to you right there, and this is a very, very cool year when it comes to the playoff picture when you're looking at these. I mean, no one thought that the Giants were going to beat the Packers, including myself. And now they kind of worked their way in. Nobody thought that the Bears were going to come and beat the Lions, except for Bear fans. And now you got these 5-win teams that you're like, none of those guys really have a chance, but they do. I mean, the Bears kind of have. I kind of like where they're at now. They did just lose Yannick with a broken leg, and I think Brisker's out too. So they're running through some pretty hardcore injury problems, but they started coming on here a little bit at the end of the season and then getting this victory, and then them having to play. They got the Browns this week, and then they have like Arizona, and they get to play the Packers in the last week. So they're kind of in control of that own destiny to get to 9 wins. And I think that 7th playoff spot is going to be able to be gotten with 9 wins. I think that team is going to win 9 games, and there's going to be like a couple of teams that have 9 wins, and that whole like, oh, how many NFC games did you win? How many division games did you win? Is going to play a factor at the end of the season for that. So, I don't know what else that you covered in there. Like the 49ers look like they're dominant, right? These are the dominant teams, the Chicago Bears and the Eagles kind of.
Yeah. But you've got Dallas as a division leader. Is Philly still leading the division though?
Is it?
I mean, they have identical records, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
but
right, and Dallas got the last win, so I don't give a shit what the thing is. Right now, at this point in time, since they did win, that's why I put them in the division leader spot. Maybe I shouldn't have done that because maybe it shakes out because they are 1-1 against each other this year. But Dallas getting the last win, that's why I put it there. I probably should have checked that out a little bit more. Is technically the Philadelphia Eagles the head of the division because of division wins?
Well, they're both 10-3. They're both 10-3. We'd have to see that, but it doesn't matter because both of them are going to be in the playoffs regardless, right?
Right.
And as the 5 seed, one of them's going to be the 5 seed because they're going to be the highest ranked non-division winner.
Right.
If the Lions can beat the Cowboys in week 17, Philly has, a pretty easy schedule. They get the Giants twice and Arizona once as the last 3 games. So they got to play Seattle this week. Seattle fighting for a playoff spot. They're on that graphic as well. The Rams also. So there's 3 NFC or AFC West teams, right? You got the Rams, Seahawks, and the Niners. NFC or AFC West. And then you got 3 NFC North teams. Vikings, Packers, Lions, and 3 NFC East teams, Giants, Eagles, Cowboys. Only one of the, or 2 of those divisions can get, only one of those divisions, can get 3 from the division. So I believe that could be the AFC West. That could be Rams, Seahawks, Niners, because, and I'll tell you why, because the Bears, Packers, and Minnesota are going to cannibalize each other at the end and not make it possible for the NFC North to get all 3 teams in. What say you, Russell?
What say you? That thing happened again, and I'm trying to get back in, trying to figure out where I messed up. Damn it. I hate technology sometimes because I'm not that guy.
So I think you got it right, Russ, because Fred says the NFL has Dallas leading their division. So I think you got it right.
Okay, good. And I think they should be leading the division after the win, right? 10 people watching, only 2 like. Come on, fam. I like that. Yeah, there is 11 people watching on YouTube. Where are the likes at? Come on, guys. Doesn't cost you anything. You're listening to me right now. Like, while you're listening to me, it's like this. And then you go, it's a like. It doesn't cost you anything. I mean, unless you hate me, you can hit the thumbs down if you want. I don't care. If you don't like what I'm saying.
Is there a thumbs down? Is there a thumbs down?
There is a thumbs down. You don't get to see it from the other side. You don't get the people from the other side, but we get to see all the thumbs down, but we don't get thumbs down. Nobody gives us thumbs down.
I've never given a thumbs down to anything.
Yeah, I mean, really, just go to a different video.
Maybe it's because my mother taught me if you can't say something nice, shut the hell up.
Oh my gosh, where are we going to go with this, man? The playoff. Who do you think is going to make the playoffs? This is really interesting because you have 7 teams, right? And then you have these 9 teams that are going to be vying for 3 of the back slots right there. Because I know that we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on that division leading side, but there's 3 teams that are 6 and 7 in that shitty division, and one of them is actually going to win the division. So, and then there's 2 extra playoff spots, and right now the Vikings are primed, and they're right in the highest spot that's available for them. And I think that they're one of the worst teams out of the deal, and not because they're a bad team, just because, they have some problems. They have some people that are up, but they're playing really, really good defense. So the Vikings still are in that spot. They're at the top of it. Vikings playing, Jake Browning, which I just think that the Cincinnati Bengals is the AFC version of the Minnesota Vikings. Good defense. Your star quarterback goes out. You bring in the backup and you're still fighting for a playoff spot. Identical records. They're the same damn team. One of them has an A in front of their, and the other one has an N. AFC, NFC. But they're the same team. The Bengals, Vikings. Who do you got in that game? Jake Browning. Can he keep the magic alive? Jake Browning. Who?
It's my quarterback.
Jake Browning. Wow. Jake Browning. And then the 3 teams in that NFC, where the Falcons are at, Falcons, Bucks, Saints. I mean, they're all vying for the Panthers don't have any chance to do anything in that division, but I love it. This is a great fight this year at the end, and we got 4 games. Some of these things are going to get shaken out this week, but none of those teams are going to get eliminated with a loss at 6 and 7 or 7 and 6. So we're going to be coming back to this next week when we hit it. One other thing I wanted to discuss today was the Coach of the Year stuff. This was something that you'd brought up, and we got some interesting candidates, including our very own Dan Campbell.
We're going to bite a kneecap off.
And we've been biting some kneecaps. 9 and 4, one of the best starts as long as I can remember, even after the loss. Still, 9 and 4 is better than what the Lions are used to here. You got Kevin Stefanski, who takes a no offense and a Joe Flacco-led Browns that are with 8 wins right now. That's pretty impressive. And then what DeMeco Ryans is doing over there in Houston, drafting CJ Stroud and completely turning that franchise around. And they're viable, man. I mean, CJ Stroud might be the best quarterback in the league year one, and he's just insanely good, and it has something to do with DeMeco Ryans. And then I put Sean Payton in there just because, with them starting out 1-4 and then him being in a playoff race, winning, like 7 of 8 games that's pretty impressive too. So who do you got, Mike? I mean,
I got a guy who's not on this list or on your graphic, I should say. My nominee for Coach of the Year outside of Dan Campbell, because I think that I think last year was a sham. Brian Daboll winning it was an absolute travesty. I actually thought Kevin O'Connell deserved the award last year, taking the Vikings to a 13-win season. I thought was amazing. And there was with a 32nd ranked defense, he deserved it. Or Dan Campbell. But this year, I'm going to go with Shane Steichen for the Indianapolis Colts, doing it with a backup quarterback. They're totally exceeding expectations. They are a legitimate contender to win their division in the AFC. No one saw that coming. Obviously, no one saw DeMeco Ryans coming either, but they had a lot of high draft picks. They get the quarterback and Will Anderson in the first round. So, and they already had a few decent pieces over there. I think it's Shane Steichen. He loses Anthony Richard, puts in the mustache, Gardner Minshew, and I think he's done a hell of a job over there.
I like it. Those are great. Those are great.
Mm-hmm.
And out of all of those people that we just mentioned, I mean, what DeMeco Ryan is doing there, being, picking in the top 5 and then actually coming in and turning that franchise around. That not only are you not picking in the top 5, but you're probably going to be a playoff team if you keep that up.
Right, but the expectation is that not 2 teams are going to make it from that division. So whoever wins that division, of course, Jacksonville leading the division slimly, but Trevor Lawrence, their quarterback, out with an ankle injury. He's supposed to play. He's fighting to play, but we don't know if he will. He's hurt at any rate. If either one of those teams wins that division, Houston or Indianapolis, I think that's the coach that deserves the award, in my opinion.
I agree with that.
Put it in the comments. Tell us what you think. Who's your nominee for Coach of the Year? Right here we have Sean Payton, Dan Campbell, Kevin Stefanski, and DeMeco Ryans. I've nominated Shane Steichen. If there's someone that we're missing, let us know who that is. Maybe it's Nick Sirianni. Maybe it's Mike McCarthy calling the plays now in Dallas. He's got that offense humming. Somebody that we know it's not is Brandon Staley. We know it's not him. And we're pretty sure it's not Matt Eberflus or Matt LaFleur as well. I
don't know about Kevin O'Connell. I think Kevin O'Connell could make a case for Coach of the Year, losing your starting quarterback and then losing your star wide receiver and everybody trashing on your defense because you lost everybody and still finding a way to be in this playoffs right now. I think Kevin O'Connell, maybe on the bottom end of that, but I think that he deserves some credit for, turning around a team that, everybody thought the season was lost.
Right. Does the NFL have coordinator of the year? I don't know about that. That's one we don't hear about if they do have it, but I would definitely think Brian Flores would win defensive coordinator of the year with the job he's done in Minnesota.
Okay. Let's see.
What I'd really like to talk about, Russ, is the NFC South.
Okay.
If you put that graphic back up for me with the teams.
Okay.
So look at what the NFL schedulers have done. Now, Fred over here in the comments has got $5,000 riding on the Saints winning the division. And I love what the NFL scheduler makers have done here. They had these teams all playing each other in the last 3 weeks of the season. So it's going to be very interesting. Right now, Tampa leading the division, but the Falcons and the Saints are in contention. So here's the schedule for the New Orleans Saints. And after I read these off to you, you guys let us know what you think, how it's going to shake out. And Russ, that's for you as well. What do you think is going to shape out? So here's the last 4 games for the Saints. They're home against the Giants. They go out to the Rams. They go on the road to the Bucks, and then they're home against Atlanta. So they get Tampa and Atlanta in the last 2 games. If they can win those and win at least one of the other 2, your money is safe, Fred. The Saints will win the division if that happens. Atlanta Falcons, they go to at Carolina. That's a win. Then they're home against Indy. Toughie. Then they're at Chicago. That's probably a win. No offense, Bears. And then they're at New Orleans, like we said. So they get Carolina and New Orleans with Indy and Chicago sandwiched in. I think Atlanta has the easiest road of all three of these teams. Tampa Bay at Green Bay. Go Bucks. Then they're home against the Jacksonville Jaguars, home against the New Orleans Saints, and at Carolina. That's probably a win as well. So Tampa looking like the toughest row to hoe, and New Orleans with the tough row, but Atlanta with probably the easiest schedule. The question is, Des Ridder, who has the best quarterback is what I always go by. Tampa, Atlanta, or New Orleans. I got to say Derek Carr's a bum. Desmond Ritter's not there. Baker Mayfield, the best quarterback in the division. I'm going to give the nod to the Bucks to win the NFC South. They're the only ones on that graphic from the NFC South that will make a playoff. That's what I say.
We usually don't agree on this type of stuff right here, especially when you're giving me three teams, but I got to agree with you. Baker Mayfield. I mean, I would say, you know what? I'm not going to agree with that. I'll go with the Atlanta Falcons on this. I'll say Desmond Ridder, he's going to, because this is close to me, but Desmond Ridder, and then you got that running game, and then they have a pretty good defense. So I'm going to take the Atlanta Falcons to come out of that division.
All right. You hear that, Chicago Bears? You need to beat the Atlanta Falcons in week 17 to spoil Russ's prediction.
Yep, and here's the thing with the Bears. Like I love Bear Down Mike, man, and I thought you guys could make a big run, but losing Yannick and I believe Brisker, I mean that's going to be a tough road right there to just plug some guys in for those guys. I don't know if that you would be able to recover from that kind of injury bug right there, because Brisker's this very, very solid. I'm not sure. Let me go check that out right now so I don't just talk.
It looks A-Dub, our resident Packer fan, says Houston Texans head coach D'Amico Ryan should be nominated for coach of the year, given the turnaround the Texans have had this year, especially with little to no expectations for that team. That's absolutely true. They had less expectations than the Colts. But A-Dub, my question to you is, if the Texans don't win the division and the Colts do, how can you possibly give it to D'Amico when Shane Steichen also had no expectations and rode a backup quarterback to the division title? So I like the call out.
Right. So I just looked through the Google. I don't see anything on Brisker. So forget everything I said on Brisker. He did, leave gingerly from the Lions game, but it doesn't say anything about him being injured. But I do know that Yannick is injured. But yeah, you got a shot in that Atlanta game. I think that if the Bears actually win this game versus the Browns, that they do have a chance to win out with what they got with Arizona, and I know that they play the Pack in the last game. They could play some pretty big spoilers right there, kind of like the Lions did last year is what it's looking like.
I agree with Donald's take right there. That if Detroit gets it together and does get the 1 seed, if they win out and Philly or San Francisco stub their toe on the way to the finish line and the Lions end up with the 1 seed, I agree, Donald. Dan Campbell, coach of the year, hands down. You took a franchise from the abyss and made them not only a division champion, but a number 1 seed in the playoffs. You totally deserve coach of the year.
Yeah, and Bear Down Mike comes in and says that the Yannick had only played 15% of the snaps against the Lion. He isn't going to be missed that much. Granted, he had a sack. I know that you wouldn't let me get away with like downplaying, an injury of somebody that you came on to the show and talked about how great that was going to be to have a pass rusher, and now he's gone, and you're like, yeah, no big deal. So I'm going to give you a pass on that one because I actually agree with you on that. He doesn't play a lot because he is kind of strictly a pass rusher, which was my my criticism on them picking him up like it wasn't that big of a deal, because he is kind of a pass rushing specialist. He's only going to go out there on 3rd and long when they know it's going to be a pass, and he ain't going to have to steal the edge. So I agree with you, Bear Down Mike. You got a shot, man. At 5-8, it's a small shot. It reminds me of the Lions last year. where we were trying to climb out of a hole. We dug ourselves into a 1-6 hole last year and had a shot down the stretch, got tripped up in the middle of it. But you guys got to win out to have a shot. But even if you win 3 or 4 and then you end up 8 and 9, maybe you beat the pack in there, you're going to feel good going into next year with all them draft picks and all that young talent. So
I would love to see the Bears finish 9-8 now that we're done playing them. That would be great. What a story that'd be, from 3 wins to a 9-win team. Eric Thomas here, he's a Bears fan. He says, we get by the Browns, bring on the Packers. For all the cheese, we're winning out. RD is balling. Brisker is playing this week, and Yannick is not a big loss. Well, don't overlook Arizona on Christmas Eve and the Atlanta Falcons fighting hard for a division title, Eric. It's kind of like you just glossed right over those 2 games and went straight to the Packers. And we saw from Tommy DeVito on Monday, you shouldn't look past anyone.
Tommy DeVito. That's right.
DeVito.
Yeah, he comes in, send a couple guys out there to New York and get Tommy DeVito. He's playing a little bit of ball right there. You know what I'm saying? And I love Bear fans because I honestly, as far as fans go, I think Bear fans are better than Lion fans. And you know what? You can say whatever you want to say about me, Lion fans, but y'all bitch too much. Like, they can go, I mean, man, we lost Quentin Bohanna to the practice squad, and y'all act like we just lost Aaron Donald. And, oh, my God, Lions losing all their guys. They lose their second best pass rusher, and they're like, whatever. They're the Bears. We're going to go 9-8. We're winning out. Like, learn how to fan, Lions fans. You don't have to make sense about fanning. You don't have to, actually be good. You can just say you're good. That's how you fan. Yeah, we're going to kick your ass. You have 5 wins. Shut up. We're going to kick your ass anyway. That's how you fan. You don't go, I really need to look at this win that we just had. I really need to pick it apart because I think I can fix this team that just won. I think I can do it.
Are you going to show Baby Huey?
I'm not going to show Baby Huey, no, but I can go back into here to my favorite one, my comic book guy. Oh, the Lions complainers right here. I can fix it. The defense is so bad that we need to fire Aaron Glenn and blitz. If we blitz, we would win because we just need to blitz more. I could fix it. I'm the one that knows how. I was watching the 4-2-5 defense. The 4-2-5 defense. And I'm watching it should be a 3-4 because I was playing Madden and it worked in my Madden franchise, so it should work in reality too. Fire Aaron Glenn. What? I'm sorry.
Jordan has a message for you, Eric. You know what happens when someone says they're winning out? Tommy DeVito knows. Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Tommy DeVito. Hey, yo, we're going to send the Undertaker over to your house, Mr. Styles.
And our good buddy, the Zoe from In the Zoe in podcast, Sean Payton needs Coach of the Year. He also says, come on, man. You know the Lions ain't getting the 1 seed. Yeah, we never said they were, Zoe. We just said if that happened, Dan Campbell would deserve Coach of the Year. And I'd like to hear your take on that, Zoe. If we do get the 1 seed, if pigs fly and we get the 1 seed, then do you agree that Dan Campbell should get Coach of the Year? That's the question.
So, and this actually supports my Bear fans are better than Lion fans thing right here, because if the Bears were 9-4 right now, the Bears would be saying, oh, we're coming to get that 1 seed. We're going to get that 1 seed. You know, we're going to get that 1 seed. We're going to win out and get that 1 seed. That's what they would be saying. They wouldn't be going, I've been looking at this team and this is what I feel. Right. I'm looking at this team and I think that they're going to trip up in the end and they're not going to get the 1 seed. They don't have a chance because they're not as good as the good teams.
You hear that? You hear that, Lions fans? That's Russell Wayne, the biggest Lions homer I know, bashing you for bashing the team. So calm down.
It's all right. You can bash the team if you want to. That's what we do on this show. You can bash the team if that's the way that you're feeling. Do what you feel. Do you. But I'm going to call you out on that. I mean, what do you get out of bashing the team? Like, do you get like,
Well,
do you,
that way when they fall apart, you get to go, I was right. See?
Right. But if you keep moving the goalposts, this is what's happened. This is what made me come to this solution, because we do this every week, Mike. We're here and we're talking. And every week, you know, when you look at the Lions schedule, oh, they beat Atlanta. Oh, it's just Atlanta. Oh, well, if they beat New Orleans, then they could do that. Oh, and then they beat that team. Oh, well, it's just that team. So if they beat this next team, that's where it's really going to be right there. And then they beat that team. Well, you know, they had these guys out. You know, they haven't really beaten anybody yet. Oh, they lost. Ha, ha, ha. I told you they suck. Ha, ha, ha. They lost. Win. Nah, those teams aren't very good.
Yeah.
You're not very good. So if you keep moving the goalposts, eventually, unless the Lions win the Super Bowl this year, which I don't think they're going to do, I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl, but I'm going to be happy on every single one of these wins incrementally, and I am not going to be over too high or too low, just like Dan Campbell says on the team. God, if the team acted like the way the fan base did, I mean, we wouldn't win any games, because every time we would lose, they'd fire everybody and we wouldn't have a team.
So Zoe answered my question. He said, yes, once pigs fly.
So once pigs fly.
Once pigs fly, then we'll be the 1 seed and Dan Campbell will get the coach of the year. Well, there is an outbreak. There is an outbreak of swine flu.
God, how much is it? Let's look at this. Like, you got Philly, right? The Philadelphia Eagles. They're 1 game ahead of us, right? They just lost, technically, right?
They're 10-3.
10-3, and they're 1 game ahead of. So this 1 seed is completely out of reach for us, right?
No, it's not out of reach. Absolutely not.
I'm putting this out here because I want to put this into perspective for everybody, because everybody likes to look at our schedule and say how we can lose all of these games, but they don't want to look at these teams that they say that we're obviously not as good at and do the same thing. So the Eagles got the Seahawks, the Giants twice, and the Cardinals. Now, do you think the Giants have any chance to beat the Eagles? No one would say that, right? But look at what Tommy DeVito just did. That defense looks like it's getting better for the Giants.
And I would love to hear our viewers' best characterization of the Tommy DeVito family and his agent. Absolute gold.
Yeah. I love it. But when you look at these other teams, it's like they're in the same boat that the damn Lions are in. And then you have the records that you have. Like the Lions sitting at 9-4 right now are in a really, really good spot, because there's all these teams that are like 6-7, and then the Vikings are 7-6. Very, very unlikely that all those teams are going to win out, because they can't. So we built our lead in the division, and it's going to play out because all these teams are going to start taking each other out, and we don't have to play them. We got to play the Vikings. Yes, straight up. But if the Lions win this week, which I think they will, I think they're going to get right. They haven't done anything. Like, you know what they have done this year is they followed up every loss with a win. They followed every single loss they've had this year with a win. And if they don't, they don't. You know, you have 4 weeks to get it together, because it doesn't matter whether you win this game or not win this game. When the playoffs start, whoever is playing the best football going into the playoffs and having the momentum is probably going to win playoff games. So if the Lions don't get their shit together and don't start playing better than they have been playing over the last few weeks, then they will lose in the first round of the playoffs. They could lose out. Like I said 2 weeks ago after the win, when you guys bitching about the win, and I'm saying, hey, why don't you enjoy it for 7 days? because they might lose out. I don't want the Lions to lose out. I'm the biggest fan around. I'm biggest Homer fan around. But I ain't going to waste my time over analyzing wins. I'm not saying that you can't point out, hey, Jared Goff has been playing bad. What can you do to fix it? Can it be fixed? What's the biggest problems here for the Lions? Well, Jared Goff has been playing like shit over the last 4 days or 4 weeks. Can you fix it? Sure. Yeah, don't turn the ball over. Protect the football. Jared Goff gets his shit together. I'm sure that'll help. Fire AG, fire MCDC. Fords need to sell. Get rid of Goff. Awesome. Yeah, I think he's just messing with me.
Yeah, he's just giving you, all those responses that we're hearing from Lions fans. It's one of those things that he just mentioned right there. If it's not one thing, it's the other.
And the thing is, all those.
Go ahead.
All of those things are with other teams too. What do you think that, like, this team, this Philadelphia Eagles team that is better than the Lions, right? That no one says that we're better than. What do you think they're saying in Philadelphia right now? Oh, we got problems. We don't fix the defense. We're going to be one and done in the playoffs. Oh my God. Oh man, I don't know if they're going to win the rest of their game. What are we going to do? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's what they're saying in Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm. Miami just lost to Tennessee. You think anyone's calling for Tua's head? Anybody calling for Vic Fangio's head? I don't think so.
Oh, the Lions can't. Their defense can't stop that awesome the Miami Dolphins offense. Got beat by the Titans. The Titans shut you down.
But you know what, Russ? There's nothing wrong with when your team loses, point out deficiencies on your team. All right.
Yeah, I have no problem with that.
But you're calling to fire the defensive coordinator mid-season when they're 9-4. I mean, stop it. Maybe you're talking in the off. That's an off-season discussion. Let's see how we go. Out of 13 games, he's won 9 of them. He's doing something right. You have the right to call out a deficiency on your team, but stop it with the sky is falling, Lions fans. You just make us all look bad.
And the thing is like, do you want the coaching staff to freak out like you're freaking out? Do you want them to, what would you do if Dan Campbell came to the podium and they're like, hey, Dan, what do you think about the defenses now? I don't know what we're going to do. We were trying to block them and they just kept coming through. What are we going to do? Do you want them to be like that? Like you guys? Oh my God. What are we going to, hey, get Aaron Glenn out of here. Oh, we got to do something. Is that what you want them to do? Is that what you want? Is that what you want Dan Campbell to do? Does it help when you're like, look at me over here in the corner. I was noticing that they were giving up sacks and turning the ball over. I knew that the Lions wouldn't be able to do it because that's what they do.
Worst team ever. Andrew says, okay, the issues are Goff cannot hit J-Mo or Donovan Peoples-Jones long. So our O is now being played in a 30-yard box. So they shut us down easy. Need to use run and run option with Gibbs. Well, Andrew, I think that's a pretty good take. But you know what? Jared Goff's had some deep shots this year.
I can fix it.
But I have to agree with him here, Russ, Andrew. We're not getting the ball down we're not getting the ball down the field long, and you're seeing the safeties. You could see it in the Chicago game. They're bringing the safeties up because we don't have the arm strength to get 40 yards down the field right now. I don't know if it's arm strength, if it's the elements, if it's the gloves. We know Jared Goff can throw that ball like that. Maybe he's injured and we just don't know it. Something's going on. Thanks for the comment, Andrew. I definitely appreciate it.
Comes down to third down play, guys. If they're getting you off the field, you're not going to be able to take those shots downfield because you go 3 and out in that third quarter, right? You were moving the ball in the second quarter, and they were taking shots downfield. I just got to call you out on this because it's like you generalize it. He makes a good point for part of the game, but you're generalizing, saying he can't throw the ball downfield. He did hit Donovan People-Jones downfield, 25 yards down the field for a first down and in his one good catch of the game.
Crossing route, though.
You throw him the ball deep. He tried to throw the ball deep to Jameson. Jameson turned one way, and then he turned the other way, and then he turned back this way and didn't find the ball. That wasn't Goff's fault. Goff threw it into that spot. You need to make a play as a wide receiver. The ball landed at his feet, and he did 2 turnarounds. So it's like we can blame who we want to blame, but you turn the ball over.
Mm-hmm. And maybe it's a result of this comment here. King says, Goff has some things to clean up, no doubt, but we also have to get back to winning the battle in the trenches. Well, I mean, that's right on the nose, isn't it?
That's right on the nose.
Jared Goff is not Lamar Jackson. He's not Patrick Mahomes. He needs a nice, clean pocket, and guess what? He'll pick you apart, even deep, if you can protect him. But his deficiencies are pocket awareness, and he short arms some throws. So keep him clean, win the battle in the trenches. Our strength of this team, Russ, is what? The O-line, and it has been.
Supposed to be.
And in the losses this year, they have faltered. So I think King is right on point with that comment.
Yep. And the battle of the trenches is going to be there. The thing is, like, I don't mind. The criticisms are spot on, guys, but it isn't one criticism that is the criticism and that's it, right? There's a whole bunch of little things that they got to be better at. And it isn't the sky is falling. There's nothing that I'm seeing out there that is sky is falling type of stuff. It's get out of your own way. Be good with your own techniques or whatever it is that you gotta that you're learning all week, and don't mess it up for yourself. Turning the ball over and fumbling the ball and giving offenses a short field is the reason you're losing the games. You're turning the ball over and giving short fields, and then you're expecting your defense, and you're actually calling our defense out for that. You got the most aggressive offensive coach in the league by far. Dan Campbell is going to go for it. He's going to try to keep his offense out on the field, which is awesome if you like offense and it works. But if it doesn't work, you're putting extra stress on your defense, which is okay. But don't overreact when the Lions lose a game where they're 1 for 5 on 4th down. Okay? Because that's their mantra. That's who the Lions are. We're an aggressive team, and when we fail on being aggressive, then we're going to lose the game. So take the good with the bad. We don't need to fire Aaron Glenn because he had to defend a 30-yard field because the offense put him in a bad position because they turned the ball over. Defense isn't the greatest defense in the world, guys. It never has been. We treated it like it was like really, really good. And then when we weren't shutting teams down to 3 points again, and all of a sudden it was like, oh, they suck. No, they don't suck. Last year, they really, really sucked. And this year they're average. Aaron Glenn has improved the defense from really, really suck to average. And it's good. That's a good progression. And hopefully next year, he can put them in that, maybe he can get them to that elite category if he doesn't get taken and poached as a head coach.
Right.
Because the rest of the league sees Aaron Glenn for what he is, which is a damn good coach. The only people that see him in the way the fire Aaron Glenn people are Lions fans that are mad. Nobody else is saying fire Aaron Glenn outside of this, out of the walls of Detroit. You see Stephen A out there, or Rob Gronkowski, or Troy Aikman, or Collinsworth. Any of these guys calling for Aaron Glenn? Anybody with a real football mind calling for Aaron Glenn? Is it? I mean, I don't know. Is there a national guy out there or somebody that's a professional guy saying, man, Aaron Glenn's that team is just awful on defense. They need to fire their defensive coordinator. Anybody that has a real football brain actually saying that.
Mm-hmm. Go from 3-13-1 to 9-8. Now you're at 9-4 with 4 games left and a 2-game lead in the division, and you want to fire the guy? Get out of here. You are watching Football Talk with Russell Wayne every weekday morning at 11 a.m. Don't forget, subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is at Main Event 365. Also, follow our Facebook page, Villain Squad. Hey, if you're watching, whatever you're watching on right now, just hit like, man. We need it, okay? We don't get paid to do this. We do this because it's fun, and we do it for the likes, and that's what we're doing it. We do it for the likes. I got a hard stop today at noon, so don't forget. Also, NFC North Open Mic Monday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We have all 4 fan bases in there running down the Packers.
I love it. You know what I love about the picture of this comic book guy? Is he's sitting there drinking his pop, and he's got a shirt on with a picture of himself drinking the same pop that he's drinking. And that's the way I feel like the complainers and the guys that can fix everything. That's the way I view them. Yes. Hey, me on my couch that do nothing professionally with football can fix this football team from my couch. And you professional millionaires, you know nothing of football. You know nothing of football. I know everything about football. And you can fix the Lions defense by blitzing. Blitz.
If you just listen to me.
If you would, I've been saying it. I have been saying it and saying it. You remember when I said it before, didn't you, Mike? I was saying it the entire time, and now it has come to fruition. And now what I have been saying is true. What?
Single Dad's Club says, who else can't stand our Lions media reporters? Well, we can't either, but we try to get them on our show so we won't come out and say it.
No Lions media reporters wants to come out here and let Main Event Mike drive them into the ground with a spear, with their weak ass I can fix everything take. Stop it. That's why we don't have any guests on our show, because everybody wants to come on and fix us, and we just want to have fun. We just want to talk football. We want to talk about Jameson Williams right here. You want to fix that offense? We need that deep threat. Like, I like the idea that homeboy had yesterday. I don't remember who that was just like, drop back, 5-step drop, and throw the ball as far as you can throw it and see if Jameson can't outrun it.
Yeah.
Just let him run.
I guarantee if Russell Wilson was our quarterback, that's what we'd see. Moon shots, moon balls, buddy.
That would be awesome. Wouldn't that be awesome if they just listen to you, and all of a sudden it's like Jared Goff throws 5 moon balls in this next thing and Jameson gets 3 touchdowns because, oh, wow, man, all you really need to do is throw it up and let Jameson run underneath it? Wow. Gosh, we shouldn't even practice. We should just drop back and throw it deep to Jameson. But no, the PTSOL is setting in. After the loss, 9-4. I don't remember a 9-4, Mike. Were we 9-4 with Stafford at all? I don't think so.
Well, they keep saying that we had 12 wins in 91, so must be. I don't remember it being 12 wins.
91?
But I'm sure it was. I just don't remember it that way.
I thought it was 11 wins.
Was it 11? Well,
it might 91. It might have been 12. Showing the 1991 Wikipedia season right there. Yep, 12-4. The Wikipedia season says that we were 12-4 and we won the Central. Man, it's too bad we've never won the North. Shit. We want to win the North.
So we got to get 12 wins just to match the greatest season in Lions history.
Yeah, and then there'll be an asterisk because we have one more game.
Right.
There'll
be an asterisk that says, and Kelsey didn't play.
And Kelsey did. Yeah, if Kelsey would have played. Oh, this is good stuff, Mike. We're in the Detroit Rock City. Detroit Rock City. I love that buff lion right there. Shredding on that. It looks like a Strat. Is that a Strat? That looks like a Strat or a Telly.
Yeah, but I never seen a 7-string Strat.
Is that a 7-string? Yeah, it is.
It actually looks like 8. I see 8 tuning knobs. Oh no,
Maybe it's
maybe that other one's just a dot.
maybe it's a bass. It was one of those AI generated things. So they just put a whole bunch of stuff. I don't even think I had to like put a little thing over the Detroit thing because they spelled Detroit wrong in the AI. So I was like
a 6-string bass with a hip shot.
An 8-string guitar that's strung like a bass. Oh, the Lions offense really missed Frank the Tank last week. They really did. The Chicago Bears were getting push right up in the middle. Kudos to the Chicago Bears for planning the weakness. And that's what good coaches do. They find out where you're hurting, and then they send all the they send all the trouble there. They send all the trouble there. There we go. What do you got there?
This is Michael who says, why don't we have other teams say one of our players did not play, right? When we lost that, did we lose that game to Baltimore? And we had a couple of guys out, but you never heard anybody use that as an excuse.
No, we can't. We're the only team fan base that doesn't use the excuses because everyone calls us out for the excuse. I couldn't even mention the fact that there was a missed intentional grounding without me. For me reporting the news, I'm complaining. Supposedly that came in the other day. And it's like they missed the call. We're allowed to say they missed the call. I'm not saying that it cost us the game. You got to play better and win the game, and you got to overcome calls, right? And you have to keep a level head when they do make a bad call, and you can't let it fuck up your whole game. Sorry, there's my F-bomb for the day. Don't let it mess up your whole game when someone makes a bad call. It happens all the time. Got to keep your head up here, Dan. You can't be complaining through the touchdown into the kickoff. He was still complaining about it when they fumbled the damn ball. He was out there talking to the ref about it. It's like, no, get your head on straight. And they were missing their guys. The Lions did miss Frank the Tank. Yeah, I wonder why you would miss the best offensive lineman that you have. Man, I wonder why. I wonder... You think that's going to affect the game plan, Mike? Stop using excuses, Russ. You're just making excuses. There's a difference between excuse and the reason. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm not going to make an excuse for it, but if I'm missing my best players, that could be a reason and we lost. Right? And that's why I put a picture of Chauncey Gardner-Johnson in this picture. That's something that has just been overshadowed. Oh man, Jerry Jacobs needs to be fired. Jerry Jacobs doesn't need to be fired. He was supposed to be the second DB coming off the bench, not the starting corner. Sorry, but I mean, that's what it is. We're 9-4, spite that. Mm-hmm. Spite all the injuries that we had. We also lost our best interior defender for last game too. It's not an excuse, but it could be one of the reasons. Oh, wow. Our second leader in sacks isn't playing today. Our best defensive tackle is not playing today. Do you think we might have trouble getting pressure up the middle? We actually didn't. Actually, they kind of stepped up when you think about it.
Rob says, Russell Wayne sounds like he's mimicking a certain YouTuber I know, LOL. So I think your impression must be spot on, Russ, because it's coming through as planned. He doesn't mean David Pike, too, by the way. I got to jump off here, folks. Hey, Russ, thanks for your show and everything you do. God bless you. God bless the viewers. Peace out.
Thank you. Yes, that's Main Event Mike. Main Event Mike, our fearless leader of NFC North Open Mic. And I'm not going after any and thank you, Mike, for popping on here today. I'm not going any that's why I put the comic book guy in there. This is not me going after any specific YouTuber. This just seems to be the theme of all of them put together. If all of the YouTubers that were Lions YouTubers were all like one guy, and it was one thing, because I watch everybody. I go through and I check out all the shows, and I feel like I'm one of the only people that is going to chronically defend this team. And it isn't necessarily because I want to chronically defend the team. It's just because I know that there's some fans that are out there that are like me, that are kind of like, hey, man, I'm happy that we're winning. And that's it, right? Well, they might not keep winning. Okay, they might not keep winning, but I ain't used to winning. This team started 1-6 last year. We haven't been to the playoffs since 2016.
Playoffs?
I got a good young team, one of the youngest teams in the NFL with the Lions right now. I feel good about it. And then when I just hear people chronically complain, you want to fire this guy, that guy, it just, I figured I'd come up and have some fun with it, right? Have some fun with it, right? That's what we're doing here. We're having some fun talking football. Charles Harris is fine as a backup. Fred Peterson says Charles Harris needs to be fired. Fired. It's just that going after all these people's jobs. Yeah, screw that guy. He hasn't been playing good. I mean, not even a fired, like, how far fired, Fred? Like, fired, like, off the team fired, or fired, demoted to the practice squad fired? Or just get him out of here. Give him his walking papers. Kick his ass out the door. If the Lions win just 2 more games, that should clinch the division unless the Vikings sweep. And I don't think the Vikings are going to sweep anymore than I do the Lions. Yeah, the Lions are in a good spot. The Green Bay Packers dropping that game took a lot of a fire out of that. And the Green Bay Packers could still do good, but that was a bad loss by them. They really had their own destiny in their own hands, and they dropped the ball with that. I think the Lions should win this weekend. They got their whole offensive line. There is none of these reasons. It's a real possibility that y'all go 1-3. If you're talking about the Lions, I think that's possible. I think it's possible that the Lions go 0-4 down the stretch, which is part of my point when we were 8-3, 8-2, that it's like, let's not overanalyze this stuff. But yeah, it may end up being like Lucy pulling the ball out right from underneath of us. I don't want to go back to that, you go back to that, but the thing is like, if you complain about wins and you don't enjoy the wins, then when you finally lose, it's going to feel like a double loss. And that's what I'm finding right now. It's almost like your fears got validated by the loss to the Bears, that you didn't enjoy the New Orleans win. It's hard to win in the NFL. The Miami Dolphins just lost to the Tennessee Titans. The Green Bay Packers just lost to the New York Giants. The Minnesota Vikings won a game 3-0. Try to enjoy the wins. Try to enjoy the wins. I'm not saying that you can't talk about the team. Oh, man, I wish that this was better. Yeah, I wish that was better. That's fine. But telling us that you know that they're going to lose now because of something that happened in a game, you don't know. This is the time of the year where teams get hot. This is the time of the year where teams get hot. And whoever is the hottest going into week, 17, 18, has a good shot to do some good things in the playoffs. There's no playoff football being played right now. Right now, teams are positioning themselves, obviously. You got to play better. Yes, the defense needs to play better. They do. You can call out the defense, but I think the defense has been getting better for the Lions. It's the offense that concerns me. I want to see the offense get better, but the offense has been very good when the entire offensive line's been out there. It's all good. Russ, you bleed Honolulu blue and you love it. I do. But the thing is, like, you can't be too high or too low. You listen to Dan Campbell say that all the time. You can't be too high or too low. And I made this graphic about the podcasters because I think there's like being too high or too low. It's like every time the Lions would lose, man, I saw so many the Lions are finished podcasts. They know that they got fire Aaron Glenn, all mad because they knew it. All of those things, like every single podcaster was doing it. Like nobody was seeing any kind of silver lining. And I'm not saying that they're gonna win the Super Bowl or anything like that, but I am saying they're a lot better than the haters would say or the complainers would say. The defense is a lot better than the haters would say and the complainers would say. Because the defense hasn't been good, but it hasn't been like dreadful awful. We saw dreadful awful last year when we were 1-6. This ain't it. There's still some things being figured out by one Aaron Glenn. But I do bleed. I bleed Honolulu blued. Brent. Hey guys, I'm late. What happened? Well, Brent, we talked some playoffs.
Playoffs?
Something that Lion fan isn't used to. But I guess they're pretending like we do this every year and gosh, we always get to the playoffs and screw it up. No, we never make it to the playoffs. You're witnessing progression as a Lions fan. You're witnessing progression. You're on the journey of it. And you're watching it happen. It is progressing. We're not going backwards. We're progressing. That's cool. I like that. And in the playoff picture, you got these division winners. Look at that, Brent. You got the Rams. You got the Bears, Falcons, Packers, Giants, Eagles, Saints, Vikings, Seahawks. All of those teams are vying for 3 spots. I mean, Tampa Bay's over there in the division leaders, but that could very well be the Saints or the Falcons. So one of those teams is going to win the division, and the other 2 are going to be fighting for one of those other 2 slots. So you have these 8 teams over here that are fighting for 2 slots. That's crazy. That's good. I like that. I really do. I mean, all of these teams, that shows the parity. Fred says the Lions are the only team that is not allowed to celebrate anything. If the Lions won against the Raiders 3-0, they'd be talking so much shit on us. We wouldn't be allowed to celebrate. And that's bullshit. That's bullshit, Fred. You can celebrate if you want to celebrate. That's the thing, is it's because there's 3 factions of Lions fans. And part of them are the faction that is just the straight haters, the SOL people that says that we can never win until the Fords sell the team, all that ridiculous nonsense. And then you have the chronic complainers, which all they do is like overanalyze every single win, every single loss, and they talk about all the bad stuff and they don't talk about any of the good stuff. And then there's just the straight fan that, you know, and I'll admit this is here's where I have to be honest, because I'm part of that fan part that we make excuses for the team, right? The haters We tell all the haters to shut up. You can't hate on a team. You can't complain about Aaron Glenn. You can't complain. That's what we do. And that's not right either, because they have a right to feel the way they do too. If you think you can fix the team, that's all right. You could be the guy on the right-hand side, the podcaster that wants to fix the team and got ideas. And with all the ideas that are out there, somebody's going to have the right idea. And then they get to go onto their show after their idea worked. And they get to go, yeah, I told you that all we had to do was blitz. And either way, they're right. So I understand that part of it. And they're fans too. It's the ones in the middle. That's where there's a lot of the other fan bases don't understand this part of it. But there's an SOL fan there that isn't a fan. They're actually an anti-fan. Like everything, they don't want to root for the Lions or any other teams. They're not really a fan of football. They're a fan of watching the Lions lose. They just want to see them lose so they can go, SOL. I told you they'll never win anything. I told you it's destiny. Post-traumatic, same old Lions. That feeling that you get in the pit of your stomach when you're about ready to punt the ball to the team that can drive down the field and beat you. That's PTSOL. But this has been a fun show today. Detroit fan man, Goff isn't going anywhere, really. Hey, Russ, can you help me out? I'm admittedly watching too many Hooker highlight videos. Need someone to talk me off the ledge and don't talk me off of the don't re-sign Goff ledge. I'm not going to talk you off that ledge because Brad Holmes is our GM. And I'm going to address this comment, Detroit fan man, by bringing up something from last year. I'm going to talk you off that ledge. Brad Holmes and Jamal Williams. When Jamal Williams, when he was like, stop playing with us, did you not think that he was going to be a Detroit Lion forever? They were going to re-sign him. Jamal Williams is everything, right? And you know what Brad Holmes did? He handled it like a true businessman. He gave him an offer and handled it like business. Hey, Jamal, check this out. We got $5.5 million for you, right? Let me know by 4. Oh, that's an insult. Man, I'm doing something. Okay. Well, he went and did his own thing. He ended up getting $4 million from New Orleans. And the Lions had a contingency plan. They brought in David Montgomery. So, fast forward. We draft Hendon Hooker in the 3rd round. Hendon Hooker, if he hadn't gotten injured, might have been a top 5 pick. He was right there. He might have won the Heisman Trophy. Probably would have won the Heisman Trophy. He's a franchise quarterback, and they drafted him. They could have had a linebacker. They could have drafted a guy that would have impacted this year, but they drafted Hendon Hooker. So Detroit fan man, Hendon Hooker is absolutely the future. They didn't draft him to sit on a bench and be a piece of trade bait. And they didn't re-sign Goff to an extension this year because Hendon Hooker's the future. And I love Jared Goff, man. But in my opinion, I'm not going to talk you off this don't re-sign Goff ledge because I think that when Ben Johnson goes out the door, and this is just real me talking, I don't want this to happen. But when Ben Johnson goes out the door, he's probably going to go to the place that he wants Brad Holmes to trade Jared Goff to. I think the Lions would trade Jared Goff if they believe that Hendon Hooker's ready. And we're going to be talking about it in the offseason, guys. Giving you a little precursor right here. This is a little foreshadowing, right? because we're going to get into the playoffs. But once we get into the off season after the Super Bowl, this Goff versus Hooker, all these talks are going to start heating up. It's going to get bigger and bigger. It's going to get louder and louder. What do you think? Like the way too early prediction on this. Do you think that Jared Goff or Hendon Hooker will be our starting quarterback next year? And I know a lot of you are just going to say Goff and let it play out. That's fine. That's good. But Hendon Hooker was drafted to be the Lions franchise quarterback. And you win in the NFL by building a team and then having a franchise quarterback on a rookie deal. And you can see the way that paying a quarterback $50 million is going to hurt your team. Now, I know that Mahomes hit, he won a Super Bowl by being paid. But here's the thing is they built him up and he won a Super Bowl on that rookie contract too. And then they paid him. And whenever you extend somebody, that first and second year is nice and team friendly. But when you get into years 3, 4, 5, 6, there's when you get into where it's actually hitting your cap at $50 million. And you can't restock your team when you pay guys that much. If you're over on YouTube right now, there's only 3 likes on there and there's 20 of you watching. If you're on YouTube right now, go up to the top rope and be like, ooh, yeah, the Macho Man will climb up to the top rope. He'll see the subscribe button down there and he'll come down with the Macho Man elbow on top of the subscribe button and the like button. Yeah, dig it. The Macho Man Randy Savage doing it the way that he does it every day. Yeah. Okay, that didn't work. Oh man, it's preseason's gonna get lit. For me, it says 19 likes on YouTube. Does it? Well, let me see. Let me refresh. Oh, okay. Never mind. Forget I said that. Don't like it. Actually, you can take one of the likes away because we have 20 people watching and 21 likes. That's awesome. So thanks for pointing that out. I had to do the refresh. I don't know why they didn't refresh. Whatever. I already liked it, Russ. I got 22. Okay. Okay. I was looking. I just had to refresh, guys. I'm sorry about that. But this has been Football Talk with Russell Wayne. I'm glad that you guys are here today. And I'm gonna take off, man, because it's been a lot of fun today. But I always like to do a little bit of this at the end because we preach some things here. I'm not going to preach at you, but I'm going to tell you what we're all about. Football Talk with Russell Wayne. Faith first. Faith, family, and football each and every week. Faith is first. I'm a Christian man, and I believe in serving other people, which is kind of the way that we do this show, because I want to make sure that you guys have content here every day, an opportunity to come on, air your grievances on a football show. And I'm glad that you guys are allowing me to do this, because if you guys didn't watch, then it really wouldn't matter and I wouldn't be able to do this. So I appreciate that. Faith comes first. We want to serve. I go to NTC Church on the corner of Bristol Belsey Road in Burton, Michigan. That's up by Flint. And we do good things. I'm so proud of my church. My church gave away 400 turkeys for Thanksgiving, and we're doing an angel tree, giving gifts to needy kids, basically what it comes down to. And there is a link in our description if you want to help us out with that. If you're sick of giving money to the guy that's on the corner of the road and you want to find somewhere else to give it to, we're going to be buying presents for needy kids right there. And there's a link in the description. You can give money to NTC and help us do that. And we appreciate NTC and we appreciate being able to serve our community. So that's faith, family, and football. Family and football. Family first. Football's fun, guys. I love football. But Don't let it run you. Use football to spend time with your family. Don't let football use you. Don't be a dick when you lose. The Lions lost this week. Don't go around being mean. Don't go around talking down and, family and football. Use the football. Spend time with your family. And then come here every single day on the weekdays, 11 a.m., doing some football talk with Russell Wayne. So I'll leave you with this blessing right here. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord shine his face upon you until we meet again the next time on Football Talk with Russell Wayne.
It reminds me of a football show, Football Talk with Russell Wayne, 11 a.m. in the mornings. You should watch it because it could be good for you. It could be good for you. It could be good for your life.
What's up, y'all? This is Ifeatu Melifonwu, safety for the Detroit Lions. And I just want to take some time out to give a big shout out to Russell Wayne and Main Event Mike from the Detroit Lions Villain Squad. It's a fan page and a podcast. And I just want to say I appreciate the support of me and my team. And I encourage everyone to go check out their podcast and check out their fan page. Go Lions.